Massimo, and I'm here to talk about Minecraft Game Show Awards. Now, you were expecting me to talk like a derp until the very end, right? Well, you're wrong. Now, uh, for now, let me explain a few things about Minecraft Game Show Awards. For specifications, I would like to talk about the categories. Well, I forgot the word, but good thing that there's some hint for me to read from. So, basically what I'm gonna do is cover up the screen because the glasses covers up my beautiful eyes and you want to see them now, aren't you? So, basically, when you are suggesting a game show, you're like, okay, sure, it's awesome, cool, wow, we, geez, cool. But what am I supposed to write when I have to mention something about the game show that why do I like it? Very simple. Because that's where we, as me and my crew, will determine categories. Like, you can basically write anything. But as long we find any relation with the category, we will put it in that thing so it has a chance to be nominated in certain categories. For example, we are mentioning that the host was really great in the game show. Then we all have to do is just put that suggestion as the best host category for that game show, and that's it. And there's so far a lot of categories. Let me just count it right now. I think we have 11, considering and counting the ones that has only one mention so far. For now, for example, let's go from the beginning and I will explain each and every one of them because these categories are not set in stone. So basically, you can figure out anything else that you can and you think it's worthy of a category like Best After Effects, but probably we will end up being using it as the Best Edit award. So yeah, synonyms and all relations with other words are also gonna be categorized into categories. That's a sentence. Concept. Basically, the concept where we think is the concept category, where the game show has its own specific angle of making it all kinds of twists, making it a little bit different than any other game show. Like, for example, you want to make a 1v1 game all along the season, but there is no other game show like that because, you know, usually people are competing against each other in a free-for-all fashion. Now that's a concept. Or concept is where people are trying to compete to be safe, and the bottom two has to compete in a different game in order to be safe, otherwise they will be eliminated. And so on and so forth. Like for my game show, example, Color Wars. There's 4 people in each segment. They will fight off against each other, and for each round, one will fall out until one left and will advance to the finals. That's a concept as well. And if you like the concepts, you can mention that that certain game show has a nice concept, and that's it. We will write it up in a little bit of a notepad, and once we hit the suggestion end date, we will figure out who has been mentioned the most in certain categories, and like, does it really comprehend the truth behind all that suggestion. Now, for next one, we are having the stream. Now, the stream category is a little bit vague, although it's a game show as well, but it has to be in a longer format. The entire game show has to be in that one stream. Well, usually if it's streamed, it ends up being an hour, 2 hour or longer game show. And probably you can figure out by the low amount of edits and the different quality and the continuous one camera angle. Well, usually there are multiple camera angles, but that depends on the level of editing, well, handling the streams, but that's a different story. So basically, if you mention a certain game show that it has a stream, well, usually streams, or it has been a stream version, announced as a stream version, then it counts as a category and will be mentioned. So far there's only one that has been suggested so far. Geez, these words are so hard, right? So if you find any more stream game shows, feel free to suggest. Next category is the build category. If you think the builds in challenges in the main hub of the game show, or all in general the buildings are great in the game show from start to finish, you can suggest that as well for that game show. Like, it is a really greatly built game show, Mitch, well done, kind of thing. Also, best edit category. If there's any amount of editing in that game show, and you would say, oh damn, that's a nice cut right there with a special effect even. Now that's considered as an edit award, or at least a suggestion for that category. And anything that relates to after effects, or just anything that is after the recording and has to be done via editing to be uploaded on the internet. Next one is the challenge category. Basically, all you have in the game shows are challenges, right? Are those games really unique, or is it really hard, or does that make the players go, what should I do in this one? Or simply you enjoy watching that challenge because it's quite entertaining and it has been shown pretty much visually that basically you feel like you're in the game show as well. Well, that is considered as the challenge category that you can suggest for a game show to be have a chance to be nominated. The next one is all in general. If you have no idea, or just randomly writing one word for that game show, basically it will be automatically added in to the all in general category. For example, the game show is good. Okay, all in general. Or awesome show. Well, basically, if you don't go specific in a game show, and don't try to just write down all the categories for one show, because that's the other end where we are like, okay, because there's so many mentions in one suggestion, it goes into all in general category. Next one is a very special one, is mini show. So far there's two, or should I say three, mentions or suggestions for this category, which are, well, you know, well, everyone knows, Billy's game show and Luigi Spanisher's game show. Billy has two because of the tiny show as well, but that's chicken category. So if you think that a certain game show is it doesn't have much added, but it's high quality and still there's a lot of builds, but in the tone of the game show it's not that high stakes than the other ones, that's kind of considered as a mini show, unless you mention it in the suggestion as it's a really good mini show. It's up for us to determine if it's true or not. The next category is the host. In the host category, basically you just mention the host of the show, that he did a great job, or he was pretty enjoyable, or he explains everything so well, so on and so forth, anything that has to relate to the main host of the show. Well, you can say the co-host as well, but same category. Right now, the next one has only one suggestion so far, is the intro, best intro, and it's not even mentioned in the dragon category for all I know, which is a surprise for me, but you know, it's up to you guys. If you say that, yeah, that was a nice intro, I would suggest that to be nominated in that category. And for the last two, for one of them is entertainment. Entertainment, think about it like a nice crew, because the mood was really good, quite enjoyable. The game show's atmosphere was pretty light, happy, and easy to consume for the viewers. That all is considered entertainment. Or anything that you say it was funny, the people were great in it, so far so forth. At this point I'm just repeating myself. And the last one is the best finale. Well, basically what it covers is the last episode was the best in that game show. If you say that, it will be set in our Excel file. I don't know what to call this. Well, it's not a notepad, but our little bit of statistics to make sure everything falls into places. And once we come to that point to determine on which show gets into where, we will put it in next to each game show that, yeah, it has for this show it has mentions like best concept, stream, build and edit, nothing else. Then it has a huge chance to nominate it in those 4 categories. Other than that, it does count on how many people suggest one game show, because if it's mentioned multiple times, it has a bigger chance to be nominated in multiple categories. If not, then well, that's bad for him or her. Although I don't think there's a female game show host at this point, but prove me wrong. What else? Yeah, for each category per tier, there will be only 3 nominees. Like, there will be 3 nominees in Dragon tier, of the concept category, or the stream category, or the build category, and same goes for the Blaze and the Chicken tier as well. So far, that's all I can tell about these categories that has been suggested. But if you think I missed something and you would like to highlight it in a suggestion, feel free to say it, because maybe it will be added as a new category. Or if there's not enough suggestions in certain categories, like for example intro, then at the very end we will try to mash up categories that fall into the same area. Like for example, intro is more of an editing process, so if nothing else, and it hasn't been suggested it yet for that certain game show, then we will put it as an edit suggestion for a category. Or stream, well, that's more of a concept thing, but if there's not enough suggestions for certain categories, and which I already said on which we have hiatus in, like stream, mini show, intro. Now I'm just said it once again just to make it sure. But of course you can suggest in any other category if you want to. So far we have 93 categories. No, 93, no wait, that's more. Minus 4, that's... Yeah, we have 93 suggestions so far, which contains 38 game shows, different game shows in total, including seasons for certain game shows. And more in statistics, I would say the suggested game shows has 26% chicken tier game shows, 34% is dragon tier game show, and 40% is blaze category, well, blaze tier game shows, which is all nice and round up, although still accepting game shows up until end of November 27th. And of course you're still not late to make a game show, although make it count because that date is coming closer and closer each time. And if you rush it, well, let's just say it's not gonna be that enjoyable. Like, remember, if you wanna make a game show, do not make it for the game show awards, make it for the people. If it's good enough, it will be suggested. Just make sure it's still before the suggestion ends. But until then, I would say this is pretty much enough, and if there's anything updates next week, I will let you guys know. But until then, my dear friends, I say to